SOMA, SOMA. This how we live in SOMA. SOMA, SOMA. If you rep your hood and you holding it down, walk thousands of miles and put in the hours.
For that, and we're not knocking it like that. We just saying what we heard.
Right. And these are some of the stories that are untold.
100%. That is told from the people in the mountains that are still alive today, from their elders. That is like not made up shit. It's really some shit that's like still handed down information where they chose to not. From what I hear, they make that area sacred. They're like, all right, the government's like, we don't touch that because we owe that to them because of how much shit that they all been through.
Yeah, and we just want to make sure that you guys we're not beefing, we're not trying to beef with the Barong. But we also want to share just what we know, and we don't get to talk about this all the time. I don't, and it's a good time to talk about it. And the etymology, from my understanding of the Barong, anyway, is just an article of clothing. It's just called clothing, and the root word of that is baro, and I remember distinctly in the 80s when my Lola used to tell me, she would tell me like, oh, like in Tagalog, she'd be like, pinapawisan ka, magpalit ka ng baro, right? So she basically said, you're sweating, you're perspiring, you're sweating all over, you need to change your clothes, magpalit ka ng baro, right? So I remember that word distinctly because it kept repeating and repeating and repeating. And then later, like when we had that podcast last time, it just kind of dawned on me like, oh yeah, I remember that word. You know what I mean? Like so I kind of learned something there from my past and kind of connecting the barong with the baro and then reading about it. And it was true that it just meant clothing. That's all it meant. So there was no barong Tagalog. The NG is like an informal or whatever.
We didn't wear clothes, y'all. Remember that? We didn't even have real clothes like that at the end of the day before they came through.
Possibly,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, I know Lapu wasn't wearing no barong.
Absolutely not. Which leads me to, I want to, because I want to, there's so many ways we can talk about this, but my question is, right? Okay, in 2019, during President Duterte's presidency, his time in presidency, he proposed a change in the name of the Philippines. He proposed it, and they wanted to call
his
it
last name.
He wanted to call it Maharlika, but Maharlika meant like nobility, like king or something like that. But there's debate around it where it's probably not, because it literally means freeman or like a free person, right?
Like Freemason?
No,
okay.
like free man, like a free man.
Got it.
Or a free man. Maybe there's some relation, maybe not, I don't know. But it's actually a slave that became a free person. So that's what they mean by Maharlika. That's the debate. However, there's the other side is that Marcos in the 70s, 60s, 70s wanted to change the name as well to Maharlika, but it never happened. So Duterte wanted to bring that up again, because there's some consideration in changing the name of the Philippines, right? I feel like, me personally, I think that could be possible. I think it's more empowering to look at from a standpoint where we're not controlled by the Philippines no more. We're not controlled by King Philip. We're not controlled by Spain to an extent that we probably don't even know about, right? There might be some underlying and why this is still happening. Otherwise, the name Philippines shouldn't be there at all, because we're not even a part of Spain no more. So I'm getting to the point where, so if we say Filipino, and I think Filipino deserves a category within the ethnicities of the Philippines, I think it deserves to have that because it's part of our history. And we still, till this day, say Filipino, right? Sure, there should be a category, but I think changing the name and also giving some support around a new name, and the reason why is because sure, we're not owned by Spain anymore, so what can empower the country to do better to change the name? I think we should start there. What do you guys think about that?
My bad. I was eating a wing. I was eating a wing. So
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
So okay, no. So do you think that the name of the Philippines should be changed?
I wouldn't mind it. I think it's a pretty awesome idea to do that, because it'll make people think about the history and why they're changing it, right? So it sparks thought into everybody, like, why are they doing that, you know?
Yeah.
So it'll educate people, and yeah, I think to detach from that history and make a new history from now on, from when it changes, I think that would be an awesome thing.
I love that answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that answer too.
And you know, to bring it back as far as like your guys' experience in the Philippines, that was my experience too. As far as like my first time there, I saw everyone just happy, like in the moment, you know? And my theory is that America, they sold it. They sold America to us. Everybody wanted to come out here, right?
Yes.
And what do you notice? Everyone out here is just like, you know, the vibration's different here, right? Compared to there. So it's like here, you got to do something in order to be happy. You got to buy this house and all this stuff.
A lot of ego.
Yeah. And then when you go back home, everyone, that's why I think everyone's smiling, because everyone's just in the moment. They're just getting through the day. We're not, when you're over here, we're thinking about tomorrow, buying this house and making this money. But over there, they're just in the moment. And that's key. That's key. Like you don't want, that's like key to any life. Like you want to be present if you want to be happy, you know?
And they're willing to share more there. Like it's that tribe, that family. Like
man.
It don't matter. Like we will all be in this fucking room and we will sleep here, and everyone will be smiling, and be like, "No, we're gonna make this shit work." You snore, okay? You sleep by the window. We'll make you know what I mean. And here it's like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah,
they will be so quick to judge.
Oh man,
people, you know what I mean? I like that answer a lot.
You know what I want to add to that is that you were talking about frequency. I think that's a real thing, right? We got to have these vibrations, but I think there's a lot of like outside disturbance to our frequencies, like that's designed by the government. You know what I mean? Like the food that we eat, a lot of the foods that we're eating right now is banned in other countries because of the ingredients, right? And like even with your iPhones, you know, there's studies that go into like the blue screen that have you locked in, right? And just kind of wasting your time, draining your energy. You know what I mean? You're like on your phone like this in bed, you're not going to get good sleep, so you can't perform right. So you're kind of off, but they have you in this state 24/7. So you can't.
And the content they feed us.
Oh,
it's way
100%.
different in Asia than here. I've seen it all. It's way different.
Yeah.
They block so much content or access to shit that we're used to here. They don't want those people to be exposed to that, because once you're exposed to it, what happens? It's stuck in your brain. You can't unsee it. There's no way our human brain cannot unsee shit. Have y'all tripped on that? Once you see some fucked up shit, it's like gonna probably haunt you. Some shit you never want to see. You're like, why the fuck did I see that? And then all of a sudden, 10 years from now, you're like, why did I think of that?
100%.
Because you didn't want to see it, but you saw it. It's like even trauma. That's what I was gonna say. If you grew up in a house of DV and all this shit, and say you move somewhere else, that's just gonna haunt you for life.
And that's that's your default on everything. That DV like environment, that is normal to you.
Right.
So when
that is your excuse now.
Yeah, when you get triggered, your response is what you know. No,
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So the challenge there is the mindset to change that. To kind of unlearn that stuff. And try to kind of heal from that, process it, go back, go get therapy. I know, like as young men in the Bay or in the city or just in life in general, like it's very like taboo or frowned upon. At least when I was growing up, to go.
Oh, that was super weird.
Help, right? Why you
super
crazy?
Weird, super not even talked about.
Yeah, but now mental health is a thing, right? So we should go seek therapy. I went to go therapy for like 3 years, and that first year, I didn't even open up. Because I was so locked in and built a certain way. You know how it is. You got to protect yourself.
Ego, bro.
No, but it wasn't even the ego. It was more
partial ego, because we're not experienced.
Well, so
you
like
know what I mean?
Like when you grow up in the hood, right?
Right.
You can't show your weakness.
Exactly. So it feels weird.
Yeah. So we don't talk about that. So it took me like a year to just kind of process.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Man, I had
That's
to.
grown man shit.
You know what I'm saying? But once dude, at the end of that first year, I was just so tired. I couldn't get sleep. I was all messed up, right? And then I just said, you know what? This happened. And then I started talking about it. We went back. And then once I started talking about my traumas, I started feeling like healing. I started to feel the healing happen. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I started talking about the next thing. And then I started talking.
It opens up all these portals, brother.
Bro, I started talking about my close friends and family, and I started feeling like it was therapy. And then what was happening was when I started talking about my traumas and my journey, if they felt comfortable seeking help or just talking about,
and then realizing the triggers too, right?
Man, dude, I had to go back
Yeah.
and relive some things to figure out, like, as a mature, wise version of myself, to go back and think, like, was that really how it went down, or is that my perception as an immature young kid? You know what I'm saying? But when I went back and I unpacked everything, and I was like, oh, I get what happened. I just now I'm finding peace, and now I can move on. And it just felt like I was dropping weight. Boom, boom, dropping off this weight.
You was holding on to it for so long and didn't even know.
Didn't even know it.
You don't even know.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah,
that's amazing, bro.
You know, if I could touch on that, man, like, what comes to mind when you're saying all that, it's all that trauma that you experienced in the past. We hold on to that. 100%. That energy is stuck inside your body. So when you felt lighter, you know, we were not taught to release these energies, right?
Yes.
And you know, this system that we have here, you know, they know that that's the remedy for that, right? So I read this book called Tribe, and this man studied tribes, basically families and communities that lived in tribes, compared to people out here.
Yeah.
So people that suffered PTSD that lived in tribes, they are so one with the community that everybody's there to kind of, you know, he's there to release to everybody in the community. They got
their back. He's safe. He feels safe.
Pay for that shit.
You know what? Let me add to that real quick, because I think it's super irrelevant to what you're saying. Is that was the mindset for, like, community, that tribe, right? But over here in America, they disrupt that. 18 years old, you got to go, right? There is no tribe now. That kid is going to school in New York by himself. Now you got to build, and now you got to start your whole lineage over there instead of working with what you have.
Got to force the trust, new shit. Well, like you said, like, everyone in the tribe, even though it seems here like, oh, they're all still together. That's so, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They make that like, what's like, who gives a fuck?
No,
like,
I fell for that.
I think we all did.
I wanted to get out my house like when I was 17, and I did.
Right.
And now it's like I look at it totally different. I want to be tight with
but I still feel like, but do you feel like you have regrets? I think you probably did okay.
Regret?
Oh, regrets, no, not at all. And then we felt like a man, right? Because we're like, we're making our bread, we're paying the bills.
For sure. But that's the whole
but now what we're talking about is like we missed that whole point of what we're talking about now. It's like, but we had to take all this, like, what is it taking now 20 years now to fucking realize this shit? That's for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm over here looking at one side of the coin the whole time. Like y'all saying.
Yeah,
that's all
by design, man.
Yeah, it's the program. That's a psyop to get everybody out the house.
And to add to that, like, I physically haven't paid for therapy, but what I've done is I've practiced sobriety, and sobriety has been like one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I'm talking about even from weed. You know what I mean? Not just, everyone thinks it's just alcohol. Like, I didn't drink. I mean, I probably stopped drinking for like maybe up till now, maybe like 7.5, 8 years. In between time, I had like a relapse. You know what I'm saying? But I just recently stopped weed, like almost a year now. And I'm telling you, like, I used to lie to myself, like, nah, it's good. It's a medicine. Like, I'm good. I'm functioning. I'm active. I'm doing hella shit with it. Like, I'm lying to myself though, because my body's depending on it.
Right.
So I was just like, one day didn't smoke. Then all of a sudden it came to 10 days. And it's like, I realized after the first month, like, wow, I lightweight save hella time not smoking weed because I got to roll up. I got to go through all this shit. Then all of a sudden I'm on my device because I'm just stuck looking at shit, trying to figure out shit to do. I'm a very active stoner. I do like to get shit done. It maybe helps with ADD. I get that, but it's still a vice. And then once I got rid of that vice, what was the next one? Sweets, candy, being on fucking bullshit on my on the device. Like, now when I'm on my devices, my algo's like fitness, investing shit, like, you know what I mean? Learning a language. Like, I'm using the fucking shit that they're trying to use against us. It's like, no, I'm gonna use it for the positive sides of it. Let me learn like I'm a high school kid, that I could pick my elective. oh, let me do cool shit that maybe I could make a bag out of. Like my YouTube algo's lit. How to make beats. These fools making beats. Fucking fools investing in like the shit you were talking about, like apartments and shit. Like all this shit, bro. It's like that's my downtime because I don't watch TV no more. I don't think anyone does. We're on YouTube, so yeah, man. That's I have yet to pay for therapy, and I'm on that same boat because it's like I don't trust people.
Yep.
I don't trust humans with my information.
100%.
That's that shit. I have to break that fucking blah. But like you said, because we are not tribe mentality or even have tribes, how many times we stab in the back, especially in business? You know what I mean? That makes it our skin so thick.
Yeah.
We do not give a fuck. We just trust ourselves. Like I'm so solo, bro. I'm so solo. Cut my whole circle up. You feel me? Just why?
You got to.
Because it's just.
But to touch on that, like I feel you, but you need an outlet to release.
100%.
You know, you need to find that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because you don't want to hold on to that. Can you imagine if you're still holding on to all that?
Oh,
right.
Right. Your life would be totally different.
I would be completely
different. So imagine if people knew how to release this.
Yeah. I got to shout out my lady, man, because she helps me with that shit for real, though, dog. I never talk like that to another human till she brought that shit out of me, and it is frustrating.
Same.
I get frustrated like a motherfucker, man. Like, bruh. But once you get over that, might turn into a fight. Then it's like, shit, I done learned some shit off this motherfucking fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
or whatever, just because we're stuck in our fucking one-sided way that, like you said, we just only know that shit. Like me growing up, all my homies was pimps, fucking always knocked hell of girls. You know what I mean? That was like all my shit was like, that was the wave.
Yep.
And then like now I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense. That's why I don't understand this other side of the coin.
Oh man. Yep.
I don't know what it's like to be genuine to another human, you know what I'm saying? And whoopty whoop. So
you know, there's a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right here. It really resonates with how our environment controls us.
Yeah,
100%.
Because of where we are, what the environment we're put in. Just like you guys talked about earlier, in comparison. When you said, I think it was you that said you or maybe we come here, it's a different perception versus different frequency, and then you're over there, it's a whole different vibe, right? So what I'm trying to say is that I think the environment that we're in is capable or is a way of controlling our mood and our movement and everything that we do. So which drives us every day. We gotta catch our goals. We got to do this. We got to do that. And so living in this system is controlling us. And how can we, and this is probably going to lead to something that, we're talking about as preppers. Like, how do you prepare yourself for this grid? Let's just go to the grid. Like, they're in control of the grid and they might even shut it down. And so that's going to leave everybody in the dark and nobody's going to be prepared for that. You know what I mean? So everything that we're talking about, all the problems, the mental health, all these issues are deriving from here. So we're up against a lot of things. The television, the advertisements, the radio, the everything that is. We gotta let's go get that. Let's go catch that dream. You know what I mean? So how do we prepare ourselves for a shutdown, another time where they're going to say, oh, there's another pandemic, or they're going to say, oh, the grid's going to shut down, the banking system is off. What are we going to do? What are some of the preparations we're going to do? How are we going to take action?
So for me,
let him speak on this. I need his game.
No,
wisdom.
No, that's the importance of investing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to like push an agenda here. I'm just trying to educate.
But you have experience, brother. Like you probably have the most experience out of all three of us combined. So we would trust your knowledge.
Yeah, but for everything you just said, that's the reason why you invest, right? You're not gonna get into a position, and it's not like people talking about money's the root of all evil and all that stuff, or like, greed and all that. No, it's not even about that. It's about positioning yourself, right? And kind of like, if the grid goes off, you're in a position to where that doesn't affect you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we need to get into a position, and we need to educate everybody else, because we're going through a system where we go to college, we pay for student tuition,
Loans,
student loans. That's unforgivable.
Now you're already in debt, fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high school, you get into debt that's unforgivable. You can't file bankruptcy on it, and it's high interest, right?
God.
So you get out, you go to college, you pay $100,000 or whatever you're paying to get out to get an entry level position just to pay that loan back, right? And we're taught to pay taxes. That's really what we're doing.
Yes.
We get a job, we're good workers, and we pay taxes so we can pay city officials so they can trick off our money. Right? And that's what's happening.
Yep.
But how come they don't teach us about opening a bank account?
LLC.
Yeah, all that. They don't teach
You
us
know
that
what I mean?
for a reason. You pay $100 for a book, they change the page, they change the version, and then now it's like 150, and then you buy your book back for $5. That's a system, you know what I'm saying? Or so anyways, that's the reason why it's important to invest, right? You put your money in the bank is paying you 0% interest for that year in that savings account, and that same bank is using your money to lend
do whatever they want,
to lend it out to this guy to buy a house or buy a car at 6 or 7%. They're making money off of your money. Your money is growing. The value is going down. It's declining due to inflation. Inflation is like 5-6%. You're getting 0%, so you're negative. You're always negative, right? So that's the reason why you got to take that money out and just put it somewhere where it's going to generate. You know what I mean? It's going to make income. Me personally, the vehicle I found was real estate. I kind of did some things early on by accident, you know, unintentional. And then boom, I started seeing like results. And I was like, oh, this is why people invest in real estate. There's something here. And then that's when I kind of locked in. And then I just started focus and I started to be intentional with how I spent my time. I changed my algorithm. I started a whole new Instagram account because I wanted, you know, we talk about health, but we never talk about spiritual health, mental health, and financial health, right? So I needed to change what I was consuming. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at my algorithm and it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Not teaching me anything. So I had to switch it up.
Very distracting stuff.
But we got what we consume. You know what I mean? That's the same thing. Your brain's a muscle,
just
right?
like this. Yep, everything.
You know, so you kind of got to switch up your algorithm so that you're consuming ways to invest, ways to kind of like improve life, right? But that's what I'm focused on, right? Is trying to continue to build that generational wealth so that I could kind of change the trajectory of our family, and that I could create a different life for my kids and educate them, right? Talk about money now, because we never talked about money when I was growing up and we were broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, this is the reason why, like you can get solar and not even trip. Right.
I feel like, yeah, we talked about maybe money, but always talked about working. I think working was always because we're about the same age. Or like, you got to work, like work is like work ethic is like, there's no way around it. You got to work, have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I like everything you said, man. And then on the investing side is like, what I hear from you is like, not only did you invest, but you invested in yourself.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I was that kid where like, dude, I wasn't like all my friends. All my friends was programmed. I, for some reason, didn't get that. I was a glitch. I looked at everything like, man, this is stupid. Like, fuck school. This is dumb as fuck. Like, I got kicked out of, like, I went to continuation school. And to me, as I look back, and this ain't for my kids to follow, because I wouldn't want them to do, you know, I want to still have them to try to get an experience. But at the same time, bro, I worked 3 to midnight for my junior year and my senior year, all of high school, to where I was working 3 to midnight, to where like once these fools all went to college, I was making 45 bands a year at fucking 18. You know what I mean? 3-bedroom apartment, buying all the DJ equipment, bruh, killing it. And like, dude, like not even 21, had a fake ID. I'm over here living a real, like, a man life that these fools would have to finish college. But now what? They're in debt, like you said. But look, I look up as I reflect with y'all and I fast forward, then I put into the music. That was all fine and dandy until there's a slump in the music. And now these fools have a career, they're getting a salary. And now I'm like the recycling center trying to find ways to make bread, to recycle this, make money with it. You know what I mean? Yep. But I never gave up. Like I always knew there was a play. And then I always never like bowed down to like, fuck, like there was probably like one small time in the life was like, fuck, it's bad. You know what I mean? But at the same time, as long as I kept going, next thing you know, the universe was like, see, you kept with it. I told you, you see the light, and boom. And then when it rains, it pours, and that's blessings.
Man, 100%.
I promise you. And you just gotta believe in your own shit. Fuck what all these people doing. Man. You know what I mean?
That's big right there, right? Because right now, like I think and I believe, like Filipinos,
Man, I was just gonna get to that. I love it.
we're grinders. We work,
But we're also a rare breed, like, and just to be me as a hip hop rapper artist, it was so rare to even be in the community of a African American Caucasian industry, mainly African American.
100%.
And to be like, who's the Filipino guy? And like, look, I'm the most baggiest clothes, loudest out of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm the most loudest. Puta gonna shit. Like, you know what I mean? Well, they're learning these words off of me.
Yeah.
Then I came with the body wear. You know what I mean? Now they learn, oh, body, compadre. Okay.
Yeah.
They want to learn it because I'm saying it so much. I'm so into it because that's our shit.
Yeah.
I'm here to teach them, oh, now body, opera.
Yeah.
That's money, bro.
That's
Now
the-
riggities. You know what I'm saying?
The infectious nature of Pinoy.
And because they all what they love, our food, our women, number one, right? It's like that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But always the food. So it's like, let me teach y'all some shit that makes us proud. Lapu lapu. That's why all my shit has lapu lapu on it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
teach my people, and it was dope to have Marshawn Lynch come be there in Cebu to see Lapu Lapu. He saw him before me. I'm like, I'm jealous. Like, y'all went without me. But we all went to the Philippines together. Like, it's just like because they know that because of me.
Yeah.
I'm around these fools, and I'm like, nah, this like some shit y'all could gravitate to.
That's right. He was in that video. He was in that. I remember.
No,
that.
but he went there. It was another time I went to the Philippines. I went there to I forgot what was it was because he was there. I went there and I celebrated my birthday there with them. But yeah, and I networked out there. It was like, but it was just like seeing him there. Like he got to go to. I went there after, and I got to really see the Lapu Lapu statue. And yeah, man, it's just like we are very, like you said, man. We're the flavor of the month every month. I feel, you know what I mean. That like from
all day.
I was telling you, it went from lumpia to ube. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel FMA is the next wave. I think FMA is going to be like, everybody's going to be like trying to learn some FMA because it's already there. I'm just saying what's going to be viral.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do FMA, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you feel me on that? I mean, because like food has been the wave, right? Lumpia. Everyone knows lumpia. Like any other race knows Filipino food. And then now ube got its way, where it's like everyone infuses. I feel like Mexipino is a wave, kind of like, because that's kind of like starting to like, but I feel FMA, which is like, that's going to like, I bet you we could quote on this. Let's film this shit. FMA is going to have its own UFC type league soon, where it's FMA inspired.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of, right, especially right now with the internet age, there's a lot of exposure to what Filipinos around the world want to share. So a lot of stuff is, a lot of stuff that we do at the parties and, the typical stuff, oh, you're so fat, all that stuff, the jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everybody talking about that, and it's exposed. It's already known.
Yeah.
So it's, not like when I was in the 90s. In the 90s, it was all discussion around the table, like,
Yeah, it wasn't even out there like that.
The only person that would probably talk about us at the time, even before Manny Pacquiao, was Rex Navarrete. You guys remember Rex?
OG.
Yep.
He's the one that, in my opinion, really put us on the map at the time,
and
to make it like on a comedy side, and those jokes go out there and becomes viral.
Yeah,
he'll put it into a conversation and create some dialogue around it.
Yep. And he's the one that in my opinion, that went viral before viral was going into our community.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Unless you had to have been on, you had to have been hustling. You had to, do the footwork just to get exposure. You know what I mean? So anyway, the different times.
Shout out to Rex, man. Let's give him his flowers real quick on this one, man.
Yeah, Rex.
Actually, so I heard he's in Oregon or something right now. Have y'all heard about
living?
Yeah, he's alive. Yeah, he's alive.
No, living in.
He's still around.
Hella funny.
Rex is still here.
And because I feel like I think I seen somebody we're supposed to link, and I'm supposed to probably see him like in the summer. But I heard that he's in Oregon doing his thing. But I hope to see him get his second win, and would love to see.
I think he's
from out here too.
Yeah, he's from the Bay.
He's from like
everyone else is getting. I haven't seen like him on social media, so maybe I need to like follow that. But I would love to see him.
Yeah, that would
get his, because he's like you said, it's like seeing like how. Okay, here for example, car meets are popping out. You see a classic car. That's like seeing a classic car. You know what I mean? Oh, Rex Navarrete, let's go. All the oldies shit. I would love to see that. Yeah. Then the kids see it, and they're like, oh, I get it, because he sounds like this YouTube person I watch. You don't understand, that YouTube person wouldn't be alive or any career if it weren't for Rex.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. And this is why we have these conversations, because we need to continue the history and talk about these things, because there's nobody really talks about these things, that not that I know of, you know. But however, this is my point, is that if we don't talk about, say, things like that you know, other people talk about, and I'm going to go into the realm of investing, because investing is something that I didn't grow up with, you know, and having known that back then, I would probably be at a better place right now investing my finances. But we didn't know this. You know, being first generation, like we talked about, being first generation here, our parents, my mom, all she wanted to do was just work and just survive, basically, and have me grow up to be somebody I can be. But she didn't have a goal for me. She wanted me to go to school, yeah, but to figure out what I wanted to do in life. But I didn't even need to go to school to figure out what I wanted to do in life. So to navigate America or San Francisco, the Bay Area, was like a cloud. Like I'm just head in the cloud, like, oh, where am I going? You know what I mean? But when
what
you
year
have,
was that? How old are you?
no, just you know, just through life, you know,
okay.
just through life in the maybe the early 90s, you know, in high school,
you
trying to figure out, you know, what I'm gonna do in life. You know, your mom is there to guide you, right? But you know, with my relationship with her, just in a nutshell, was, you know, she just protected me. She,
did you follow her wishes?
Not entirely, you know, I did all the teenage things that a teenager could do.
Yeah, but I meant for her wishes as like after high school type shit.
She wanted me to go to school, and I tried it out. I tried it out, but I felt like at the time it wasn't for me. But you know, in some ways, I'm glad I didn't.
You made it work to where like it was cool for you and also made her happy.
Yeah, basically, you know.
I think, you know what I think, like my parents, I don't think they knew how to guide me, because they were trying to figure out this new society.
What's your lane? What's your lane?
What do you mean?
Like, no, I'm saying that's what they're trying to do, figure out what's your lane.
No, they were just telling me the default stuff. Why don't you go to school? Why don't you become a doctor? Why don't you become a lawyer? Why don't you? Because that's what they think.
Did you have siblings too?
Yeah.
Oh, and then they're saying it to everybody.
I mean, yeah, but you know, we grew up in the hood, so they was out. My older brother was outside. He was doing his thing. He actually left when I was like 5. Boom, he was out of there. Yeah. And then my sister was always working, grinding, and they didn't finish college, so they couldn't tell us how to go to college. You know, and this is me, my younger self. My dad would be like, "You gotta go to college," and I'll be like, "Did you go to college?"
Damn.
He'd be like, "No."
And we have no one around us to be like, "This is what it's like." Because I remember when I went to college, I had to pick classes. I just looked at my best friend's shit and like, what classes you got? I just copied it word for word.
Yeah, we don't. I
didn't know what the fuck did. It was community college. I'm like, fuck it. Just
so
I could be with my bro.
We didn't have the guidance to be like, you should do this, you should take this, because boom, 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 boom. This is the process. This is what you're gonna go through. Boom, boom, boom. You know, we didn't have that.
No, we were the first ones here, so we had to navigate that.
Yeah, so like my dad was having a hard time finding work because he didn't speak English that well.
Right.
So he's trying to figure out his life.
Right.
And he can't tell me what to do because
the only thing he's gonna be able to do is like, well, do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he could probably do.
But the thing too is my dad, he was working, so he was out of the house. He was a taxi cab driver. He was a truck driver. Then he went to he was like a civilian worker for the military. He was in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm. He wasn't physically there.
Yeah.
So I was outside. You know, my mom was always working. I was like one of those kids. I know there's a term for it. I can't think of it right now, but like when the lights come on,
latchkey kids.
Yeah, that's me, right? When the lights come on, be inside.
Latchkey.
When the lights come on, be inside the house. There's pizza pockets in the freezer. Throw them in the microwave. Don't open the door.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I grew up. And then where I grew up, it was a lot of black kids. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up with
Sunnydale.
Visitation.
So
like my elementary school was right next to Sunnydale, Geneva Towers, the brick homes.
Yeah.
So when I went to that elementary school and middle school, that's all I knew. You know what I mean? So it's that mentality, you know, it's like, you know, it's a project kid mentality. It's just very survival mode. I didn't know anything different. I didn't really know like the Filipino culture for real until I went to high school. And then I started gravitating to who's your culture. But then I would get invited to some of my friends' house.
And then you're not used to that.
I wasn't used to it.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, take your shoes off and you know, everybody's eating dinner together. And I'm like, damn, this ain't like my house.
Fact.
Culture shock.
Yeah, for real.
It's like you gravitate to it, but you're not used to it. So you're like, oh, I get it, but like I'm not used to okay.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, but I just think like they were trying to figure it out, so they couldn't really give us the type of guidance. And that's where us right now, this generation, that's why it's up to us to change that. You
Absolutely.
So it's like
teach as much as we can, even the languages, man. I be trying to. I don't know what I'm learning right now, so I could teach some shit. Because I don't want my kids to skip it.
Yeah.
You know, seriously. Because I didn't get it taught, but I'm learning it now, so I could hopefully teach some of the shit, and then hopefully, like my goal is like at least a year or two from now, I could fluently podcast it, either Tagalog and Ilocano, both. Like seriously.
Yeah, get it. I get
trying,
that.
Bro, trying.
How is it?
Because you know Hawaii's all Ilocanoed out, so it's like go there. Like I just gravitate to Oahu so bad. Like it's like, you know what I mean. I want to be able to fit in there as well and like expire there.
Can you speak some words right now?
Napintas.
Napintas
ko.
Like painting?
Nah, the napintas ko. That means like my beautiful.
Oh.
You feel me? Maganda is Tagalog version.
Yeah. Napintas.
Yeah.
Pinta.
But what are you? What are you? Tagalog?
Tagalog, Bisaya. Bisaya.
Okay.
Yeah. And
teach us some Visayan.
But my Lola, she spoke Ilocano too.
Yeah. So you're more Tagalog, right?
I would say in language, but I do understand some Visayan. I know a little bit of Visayan. Like
Magdiwang tayo, kaya na.
Yep.
I just know enough to like we gonna get the party cracking. You feel me?
manamit ang pagkaon. That's Ilonggo. That's manamit means like masarap.
Oh,
and pagkaon is like pagkain.
Dang.
Yeah. So I'm more
so different.
Bisaya. Yeah,
it's like not even similar for.
But it's some of the words of why I understand Bisaya is because some of the letters are just switched.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like it's just a trip. But I love the Ilonggo language. It's very flowy. It has a flow to it. It's like kind of like singing in rhythm.
It's a lot, bro.
Yeah. But I like I really wanted to get to the point where, you know, in investing, because I know right now is a crucial time in our life, and as far as like investing, where I'm gonna go to where the Trump administration is right now is reshuffling, basically, in my own words, they're reshuffling and reallocating funds, and basically this is the switch off to the wealth transfer. The wealth transfer of the world. Everything's going to go digital. Cash is probably going to deplete later down the line, and everything's going to go into stable coins and onto into cryptocurrencies. How do you guys feel about that? And are you guys participating in the transfer of wealth? Because I think, you know, this is a good time to really get our people involved in this. And we're talking about Bitcoin too. Are you familiar with Bitcoin? Are you guys familiar with Bitcoin?
Yep.
Yeah.
So right now, you know that Bitcoin is the strategic reserve of the United States, right? They're strategically gathering up 1 million Bitcoin for the reserve. You guys know that, right?
Nah, I didn't even know that.
So what I'm saying is, so in a nutshell, this is 1849. If you know what 1849 is or 1848, what was 1848? Gold rush.
Oh, so they just treating it like the new gold
like
rush.
The 49ers. So this is, they're treating it like the new gold. This is digital gold. So if you're not aware of this right now, and I'm going to shout out to all my Pinoys out there. If you're not aware of this, go grab yourself some Satoshis. So the Satoshi is like a cent of like Bitcoin. So you go grab yourself some Satoshis now, because if it is digital gold,
what's $100 USD?
This is actually don't follow what I say. This is not financial advice.
Educate yourself.
Hey, they gotta go back to your disclaimer.
Hey man, what happened? I did what you said.
Hey Joe, you said to do it, bro. But his disclaimer said, "Don't listen to me." I don't know, but I'm just curious. Okay, the Satoshi, what is the USD? $100. So for people listening, you had $100 to spell USD. What would that get you, a Satoshi?
So if you have $100 right now, and
USD, buying it fresh right now,
and you wanted to buy some Satoshis, that would equate to approximately about 0.0001 Satoshis of one Bitcoin. So
got it.
Something
you basically have $100 worth of Bitcoin, right?
Right. Yes.
So it's and if you hold it, and as Bitcoin
and it gets value,
then you have you know, there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin that's going to.
Do they have a? My bad to cut you off. Do they have a chart where it says like what $100 was worth in 2024,
sure.
2025?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So you can see the value over time.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. So, oh yeah, from here.
So like, what is it?
Yeah, went from
2019.
The chart, yeah.
Nice. I'll be 100, man. Yeah, I remember Bitcoin, but it's on some whole other stuff. It's on some, you know what I'm saying, the other color web. You feel me?
Yeah.
And if we knew what we knew then,
Hey, man,
I had my brother, man. All he was doing was on this game, buying Bitcoin off this game, so he could use that device for the other device. And bruh, we did the math, bruh. We would have bought this Music City studio.
No, it's like that dude. That dude that had he had 100 Bitcoin and he bought pizza with it.
Yep.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
That dude's sick.
No, I think it was more than 100 Bitcoin.
But
it was like probably
back
10,000.
in the day, though, bro. Like during the hyphy movement, like that was really the wave. Like who would have known?
Nobody.
Nah, nobody really knew.
I just remember playing this dumbass game. He's like, bro, I gotta keep playing this shit so I can get these coins and then go to the other side and woo. You know what I'm saying?
It was like
get
a
his DoorDash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, dude, bro, look at this.
Yeah.
So JP, what do you think the Bitcoin strategic reserve is leading us to?
Well, I think it's a good idea to educate yourself on which cryptocurrency you want to invest in, because a lot of them have utility that are actually solving problems, right? So
nice.
If you educate yourself as far as this whole transfer of money, right? You got to look at the companies that are in charge of that. So if you hold a piece of that, you're not investing in currency, you're investing in technology.
The blockchain.
Right.
So if you own a piece of it and it can't be touched because you own it, then the value goes up, then you're in a better position, right? So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So if you have
it's not Las Vegas, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, Filipinos love gambling.
Yeah.
But
don't. Yeah, like you said, don't.
I do.
I think
don't max bet.
I think it's just a good idea to have a little foresight in where we're headed.
Yeah.
Because honestly, cash isn't king anymore.
I
Because
agree.
there's a lot of stores that I've been to, they don't even accept cash. I'm like, what?
Especially traveling, y'all. They will not take your fucking
dude.
cash.
So it's like, you got to see that and really think about where we're headed.
Yeah.
So, and think about what technology do you want to invest in? Like who has their foot? Like if I were to mention one, if you want to do some research on XRP and where they're headed and what kind of relationship they have with the world, with all the banks in the world.
Right.
It might be a good idea to look into that because it could change your life. Maybe.
Have you looked
maybe
into that, Jay?
I have very much looked.
What can you
into
give a little quick 60-second breakdown of what you could from what you've seen? Just your POV, please, for our people out there listening.
It's basically that particular project and company, Ripple, is basically they have been working on really trying to get this system, this digital currency, and they're trying to get all the institutions on board, all the banks. They want to be the ones.
They're going to be the one that's probably like.
They want to be the one that has that
like respect.
What is that? The stable coin.
Right.
They want to be the main one, right? So
over Bitcoin.
Over Bitcoin.
Well, it's different functions.
It's a different function, but that basically that new stable coin is going to be the new cash. Everyone's going to carry it. That's how you're going to pay for everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why not get it while it's cheap?
Yeah.
And you know what? And if it doesn't work out, let's say we do stick to cash and nothing happens, then
cash out.
Yeah.
I mean,
cash out,
we're not, like you said, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't invest what you can't afford to lose. But really, if you did some digging,
there you go.
But like I dig, but I don't dig like it's like my 9 to 5, right? So I hire a consultant. I'll hire somebody that did all the digging, and I have to get a feel for this person, like where he's at, and he has all the receipts. Right. So it's like, you gotta just like make it simple and see and talk with him for 2 hours and see his portfolio and see and just take on his advice. And if it feels good to you, then do it. You know,
I like that.
But it's like what you said. You want to put yourself in a better position so you could take care of your family.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to.
And just do just like you said, try it so you know what it feels like, and then watch. Next thing you know, you're gonna be all in. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be weird.
Here's some wise words that my uncle, at least my uncle told me, is to basically do what the rich do. Follow what they do.
100%.
Because
high five,
yeah,
high five on that. High five.
So
like
if you have a blueprint on what's and how to make money, maybe even $1,000, $1 million, if there's a blueprint there, why not follow it, right? If it works, it works. So, but it's all about education first, so that way you guys are not going in blindly, and then you guys get trapped in and lose money. You know what I mean? So you always got to educate yourself at the end of the day. But going back to the Bitcoin reserve, XRP. XRP is a different function where they're going to be using this in the banks. This is going to be
I've seen XRP and Ripple is XRP, right?
Yep.
Ripple is a company.
I've
but
seen
XRP
that since
is
when
coin.
NFTs blew up, and that Ripple was a huge topic of conversation. They got mad companies that they fund, like, or whatever they're doing. We actually went to them to raise for my telco tech side, and I remember it was being this close, man, and the numbers that they was trying to raise, they was with it. Like 100 M's, like nothing.
I think
they're
about a $10 billion company, or more than that, probably. Maybe half a billion.
They up there, bruh.
No, not half a billion.
But they was talking about how Elon who's the richest. Elon Musk is what, 300 billion right now? What's his
something like that?
They were just talking about this. G Biz was talking about today.
Yeah,
they're talking about all the Elon Musk and other guys. They're all 300 for the Billy. Like, that shit wasn't even a thing 10 years ago. How is this shit? Where's this coming from?
For real.
Like, we don't even got that much people. Right? Like, how the fuck?
He could literally give
how are they making all this shit out of nowhere?
That shouldn't be allowed.
Right.
Not one person should be allowed to have that type of power.
But I like what you guys are teaching me here, because it's like technology. I'll be real, and we're probably all humans. The same thing. Learning new tech, I feel, is scary until you try it. And I'm doing that now with my merchandise. I just want to throw it out there, where it's like, I'm so old school with it, where like I go to the print shop, I get the shit done, I make the shit happen. Like, I like to see it, make it happen. Then I'm hand to hand doing the sales. Right now, I've just partnered with this new manufacturing, all like e-commerce style, basically a Shopify all-in-one on steroids, where nothing is made until they fucking buy this shit. But I'm the one in the fucking matrix of this fucking thing of like, I have access to all the shit that I already have, meaning the blanks, whatever materials, like, it's like unreal, bruh.
Yeah.
Until where like it makes it convenient, but I'm still like, I was so scared of it, bruh. Like, what, this is stupid. Then I did it one time. Then my next meeting with the partner is like, oh, now I'm really learning how to do this tech, the software. Now I'm like, dude, cooking shit up, like building this brand and like showing like, bro, why work smarter? End of the day. Because we're so stuck in that shit. It's like, you're scared, but it's like, what? Why are you scared? I have nothing to lose. I'm not even making shit until we sold it.
Right.
But it's that mentality. It's that we're used to hunting one way. You know what I mean?
Do it yourself.
Salamat.
You gotta do it yourself. But that's a mindset.
Mindset of scared mindset. I'll be real. But once I started doing it, and I always tell my clients, because I'm a content coach now, man, I'm like, I'm here to get you guys abs. You're fat as fuck right now. It's not gonna happen in 1 month. You feel me? And they believe me, because it's like, you are running your company. You're, say, they're a restaurant. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're ordering food. You're worried about customers. You have no time to learn about making content, how to manufacture, how to distribute it, and also engage with customers. You're worried about your staff and stressing out.
Right.
So I'm here to be like, you know what? Let me be the center. You just throw me the ball. Let me just dunk this shit all day, dog. You know what I mean? Because now you're like, don't have to fucking hustle so hard. And what happens? Results, championships. You know what I mean?
You gotta have a team.
That's that mindset. So I had to do that to myself too. I don't know everything. And I'm getting like, y'all talking about that now. I'm gonna actually put some bread tonight into some shit just to do it. And what? Because I was scared of it. Because like I told you earlier, I tried to invest earlier and I got shammed. You know what I mean? So once you get,
what'd you get, a meme coin or something?
Nah, we did the NFT mobile in Florida, and I'm just meeting all these. I probably met some top dogs didn't know. Some whatever, like who knows? I don't know the name.
How long ago was this?
This is like 2021.
Yeah, that's
when NFT was like, oh shit, NFT this, NFT that, to where I was even making weed bags NFT, just because it was like, I'm thinking I'm on some new shit. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. But yeah, even knowing the mechanics behind the NFT was like, I thought I got it, but it's like, there's so many, like this is an NFT.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you really put if you really put on the website correctly.
You
know what I mean?
It could be an NFT.
Because it has a QR code.
Right.
You feel me?
Yep.
So anyways, yeah,
anything
man.
could have been an NFT.
But how y'all saying that's like, I think now what's dope with us is we're people that have like a great voice and have ism, like knowledge. So we're like, let's teach this to the youth. Let's teach this to the elders.
That's right.
Yep.
Let's not
right.
make the elders and the youth scared of any of this new shit because we're the ones being the, like I said, we're in the gym. We got abs.
Yeah.
We want you to have abs too.
Yeah.
That's how I relay everything.
Yeah.
Like, let us be your personal trainer, like help you get these. It might take a year, but fuck it. At least we doing the work.
It's just got to start somewhere, you know? So with that said, with things getting easier, right? I want to go to the AI project because I know we wanted to talk about this. The AI is, that I know of are connected to cryptocurrencies or blockchain projects where it helps out the blockchain and all that stuff. AI is also, they're creating AIs that look like people that are going to be taking over jobs in the future. You already got Waymo. Waymo's already like.
Have you rode that yet, y'all? Has anyone rode a Waymo?
No, I'm not driving. I'm not riding.
Why? Why would you? I mean, it's just like being on a Disneyland ride, right?
Because they're
collecting all your data while you're in the car. Is that why?
Too. Well, that too, and also too, like there's been accidents and there's probably some glitches that they need to fix. Still.
So we're just like the guinea pigs.
But how would that be different than hopping in an Uber driver? They get into accidents.
Yeah,
can we sue Waymo?
That's true, but I don't get into Uber.
Right? Because you're on the app. What if there's like a disclaimer?
Yeah.
You're in here. Yeah. If this shit pop off, this robot fucking malfunctions, you can't sue. Like, who knows what the fine print says?
Yeah.
Because it's probably cheaper to use a Waymo.
Probably. I'm not
way
sure
more cheaper, but way more dangerous.
Yeah, it could be.
but like you're in a taxi cab.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Yeah.
No, you're right, and that's why I pray in the back seat if I have to, because I really don't want anything to happen. Yep. So if I were to get into a Waymo, I wouldn't mind doing it, but at the same time, I got a vehicle and I like to take control of my life. You know what I mean? If anything's gonna happen, at least I'm responsible for it. I don't want nobody to be, I don't want nobody to blame, for anything that happened, because at the end of the day, it's me to blame because I hopped in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's also like, it just made me think of when you guys talk, it's like it's also riding a carnival ride. We've seen the accidents happen all the time too. And who's controlling that?
Yeah.
A person. So I mean, end of the day, I think I don't know what we're talking about, but it made me think of that. Fuck my bad.
No, that's true. No, you're right. I think
you know what I'm saying.
No, we're talking about technology and AI taking over.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So that's the thing that we have to be aware of, is that where we're heading to as far as AI and where the world is going to go to, them having the jobs that folks used to do.
I was doing I came across this article on LinkedIn, and they're saying right now for people for the workforce, and by 2030 you have to have learned like 75% more skills to compete with what AI is going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Because right now, I know people like attorneys and friends and people, they'll go to ChatGPT, write me up a contract, according to this county or this state. And it's pretty spot on, and they make tweaks to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, there's no overhead. You don't got to pay medical. You don't got to pay any type of benefits. So, and I even know like software engineers that write me up a code, boom, and it codes up some stuff. So you're probably going to have operators that you're probably going to have a reduction in like a lot of different spaces, right? Because you got AI integration, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to be like, but I know it's going to start replacing jobs because it's cheaper. From a business standpoint, I get it. You don't.
I think. Do you think it's going to replace it, or do you feel it's just going to hire less? Because I don't feel AI could really do it all the way. I look at you still gotta have a human to kind of like
certain things,
right? But I feel like this my how I look at AI is like a filter. You want everyone's used to having a picture with a filter, right? And that's all AI really is. I feel is a preset. End of the day, if like when I use AI for whatever the chat, whatever shit, it's like it's loading it in and opens up a preset of like, here's your options, like a filter. Here's what your shit looks like in fucking black and white. Here's what it looks like you're in New York, Queens. Like, it's all presets of the day. So it's like, are you a fucking non-preset using motherfucker? Or like everyone in the world is using presets. So it's like, I like AI a little bit just because it's like, it's a tool. You know what I mean? But on the music side in the studio, the AI, like, bro, it's kind of lit, bro. Like, people are hating on it because you could really use it as auto-tune. Like make your voice sound like, you know what I'm saying?
There's AI tools that will create a whole beat.
Bro, it's scary because an artist might come out and they might not do zero work. They might do zero work because they got the AI preset of how their voice sound and they know how to write lyrics,
bro,
of how you rap.
They got AI
it's
artists.
Crazy.
They got AI artists.
Oh, artists. Oh, yeah. That's like digital.
Yeah.
But what if they like this? Is my thing. It's like, what if I'm telling you, like, it's like say Tupac comes back because of AI. Because they tried it already. We know it's fake.
Yeah.
Because, but it's like that could be the thing where like, all right, NUMP is forever going to have music because now we're used to this AI status to where like, who knows that even anything ever happened to him. Right? See with these movies.
That was a problem. That was a problem. Like, you like AI, like they got Tupac versus.
But it's like just enough to know it's fake.
Yeah.
But watch, it's not going to be like that.
That's the problem because you could do, like with movies, you could create a whole.
Brother,
that was a problem, right? Like how you could just create me.
Because if it looks just enough fake, but they probably got to where it's gonna be dead on, like where we look like a cyborg, where shit is like, oh my god, he's right, like we're shroom trip. You know what I mean?
And I think that's where I wanted to go with that is because with AI taking over, it's gonna be normalized at some point where we're just like, the robot right there, what I'm saying, getting your food from the robot or delivering it to you.
Oh, that's normal. And that's been done like in Asia and everything. That's all regular shit. So we're just slow to it in America.
When it becomes so normalized to the point where they even have military and police on the streets that are AI, which is happening in Dubai apparently.
RoboCop.
They got a RoboCop over there in Dubai, I think. They started that in 2017 or something like that. They had the police, the first sergeant or whoever, first CEO of the police station out there. And then they had a video recently come out where they had the police car with the AIs in a driving.
Oh,
wow. And dude was like, and then the AI was like, buckle up. Right, and then said you violated whatever rights, and then all of a sudden he gets text the ticket.
How crazy is we grew up in the 80s, pretty much all of us, and that movie was like, oh, this is a movie,
RoboCop,
and now it's fucking, this is like crazy, guys.
But the same thing with I Am Legend.
Right, all this shit's all happening.
I Am Legend. Oh yeah,
all our shit.
Wait, I Am Legend is
Will Smith with the robots. Right.
Oh, that was iRobot.
That's iRobot.
iRobot. Sorry, my bad. iRobot. Yeah. But that's happening now.
It's happening now, but I think the most important thing to think about is with technology. Have you noticed we all grew up in the 80s?
Yes.
How our brains worked back then. We were able to remember everything, right? Phone numbers, addresses,
right?
And we made things happen.
Pager codes.
So think about this. As far as AI is rolling out now. Think about how much it's gonna dumb down everybody else.
100%. But I think isn't that the goal? Isn't that the goal though?
That's their goal, yeah.
That's their goal, yeah.
Yeah, that's their goal. But the thing is, it's like you got to have some type of.
We need to be able to have like it's like discipline. I think for our brain.
I mean, I think that's coming as far as robots doing everybody's job,
right?
And that's fine because we can't stop that, and that's fine. But I think if you want to look at it in a different way, is that it gives everybody else time to do their own creative thing,
right? Well, if they use it smartly, like you say,
because that is a theory, is that the AI and robots are going to be doing everything, and they're going to roll out like a universal income for everybody. Imagine if that happens, what would everybody be doing? Your basic needs are met: your food, your house, right?
Nice.
What else will you be doing? You're going to be able to be more creative, right? Let them do all the jobs we don't want to do.
Right.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Right.
So it's like, how are you going to integrate yourself with the new technology?
Ooh, what year is that, man?
I think it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So what year is that, and who's gonna emulate it first? Who's gonna act on it first?
And you know what? I think it all comes back to us coming in as tribes again.
Yeah.
We all need to come together.
We're talking all this talk, and then we go back home, motherland, or even Hawaii, and it's like so throwback over there still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like maybe this area has the advanced area, but still, you go here, it's straight farm. There's still motherland is like that's all motherland shit.
Yeah.
Which is still a trip because here's our mind here, but then this is still existing.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what you're talking about as far as traveling and getting a new worldview.
Exposed. Yes.
I try to advocate that to all the young people, man, because you
Got
got to do
that.
that. I wish I did that earlier. I didn't do it
Same.
till later.
Likewise.
But you need that new worldview because you could go. I went out to Thailand and they just rolled out washing machines. That's
oh,
new to them.
like rolled it out. What do you mean?
No, they washing
Starting to
machines
use
weren't
them.
new.
Starting using.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's like you could go to a different frequency, different
Yeah.
vibration, and go back into time and feel that. And everybody needs to feel different.
And watch that'll be
right?
like the Jurassic Park, where like now that you gotta pay to go to that to feel that. That could be a
I mean,
whole
we're
other
doing,
trip.
We're doing
You
that
know
now.
what I mean?
Dude, we're doing that now.
Yeah, we are. We have to travel to go see that.
Yeah,
You know,
dude, we need
spend
the
the bag.
passport. You need a passport. You can't
Yeah.
dude. Oh man, that's deep. Dude.
This
It's
some
like,
this some
you know-
high
you
talk
know-
and I ain't
you know
even
what a
high right
hard
now.
pill to swallow is that we're all slaves.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And the thing is, they
100%.
did it, the powers that be, they did it so good to where we think we're free. When really, and I think that's why it's important to have these conversations because we need to
Yes.
wake the fuck up. dude.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
know
This
who might
school, this
not be
education
a
system
slave?
is all fucked up, man.
You know who
Like,
might not be a slave though? It's them homeless and them crackheads outside. Because they have zero, they're not abiding to any of this shit.
No, that's true, but I also think
Mentally.
they're also trapped.
But
in the
but now
system.
they're sick. Now they
Yeah.
have
well,
they're
yeah,
you know what I
they're
mean?
just-
So it's
that's a
like
whole
there's
different-
nothing perfect. We
that's
could
a-
never win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I think just having that higher level of consciousness and awareness,
discipline, y'all.
so that you can maneuver with
yeah.
the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Awareness and the discipline of knowing, like,
That's it.
because like the AI you talking about that, it made me think of like that could be a whole new vice. That could be a vice where you could overindulge in AI and now you're, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
sure people are doing that right now.
Yeah,
Right.
they
Oh,
have
for all kinds
they
of bad
have,
shit.
They
All
have
kinds.
AI. They have AI dolls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they have AI dolls for personal people. So I mean for for personal pleasure. And I think somebody had a video of that or something.
I did see a video that was some dude trying to fly with one.
Get married.
Well,
Get
Lamar
married with
Odom,
one, yeah.
this is Star Magazine mode now. We're a Star Magazine now. Lamar Odom, y'all, was trying to buy one to make it look like his baby mama or his ex, the Kardashian. But I feel that's them, Hollywood shit, trying to sell fucking, you know what I'm saying? Sell some shit to like, that's all scripted.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's just kind of pivot a little bit from the AI. Because one of the topics that I like to talk about is Hollywood, and maybe not just Hollywood per se about the movies, but what's going on behind the scenes. I really don't know, but I hear things.
I mean, I had this story I wanted to tell y'all, man. I really never really spoke about, but I'm trying to transition into that mode because I don't know how it's gonna flow.
Yeah, but you take your time with that.
Yeah.
We can talk about that
I just
later.
feel my experience with Hollywood, y'all. Because I'm a everyone knows me as an artist, entertainer. I always had the passion of like I wanted to be a movie actor, right? I felt like I got the charisma, I got the energy, I could do it, right? And I did have an opportunity to do it. But what I noticed was when I went onto like this real big set where I was a part of this big $1 million UWAP, man, it's like, man, it's like you're really just a puppet. You know what I'm saying? That they using that bag, that money to be like, now you like, I see what kind of the shit they're pointing at. Where like now with all this stuff in the news with whoever they're pointing fingers at of like, say these Diddy stuff or whatever. But in Hollywood stuff, I kind of see where that comes from because they are at the end of the day, what I'm gonna go with this is like control freak. You know what I'm saying? Who like corrupt control freak shit. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what goes on behind closed doors and shit? But I witnessed it with my own words. Like, I couldn't be around that shit. It was like, it totally rubbed me the wrong way. I was a part of this. I mean, shit. It's like, the show Blind Spotting. I was on the show Blind Spotting for a cameo. Blind Spotting is a movie that turned into a series.
Oh, Blind Spotting? You were in that movie?
On Stars, the series.
Oh, okay.
So they had like the season.
Not the movie, but it was a series.
But yeah, they had real stars, money behind this shit, and they did an episode because they're portraying it from the Bay Area. They rep the Bay. They had a whole Filipino episode, and it was me, myself, Rufio, Pilo, Ruby Ibarra were like the conglomerate, like to showcase, to put on for our people with the rest of the crew. But from my experience on that, it was cool. But like, I just got like, if they don't fuck with your energy, like, I'll just put it like this. My experience with that, bruh, I was being myself. And I guess somebody didn't fuck with my energy. So what had happened was they just did, it was just basically They did what they had to do to snitch on me, to say some weird shit, and basically was controlling me. Like basically, like, all right, then you can't be here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like no one is advised. Okay, but let's do the long story short. We had but my scene is a Bay Area party, right? So I'm just dancing on some Bay Area shit, right? And you know, they're like, "NUMP, man, you gotta turn up, bro. Come on, this is your scene," because they're utilizing my song, I Got Grapes. So I'm like, I bet, like, okay, it's cool. So I'm over here, how we dance on First Fridays, or we at a house party, you know, we be yiking and shit. You know, we have fun with it. Ain't nothing, that's just our Bay Area shit. After I do one scene, they like, all right, man, hold on, man. Hey, if you're gonna be too turned like that, you gotta let us know, whoop-de-whoop. I'm like, bro, like y'all confusing me. What had happened was I'm not knowing all this shit, and I guess they try to be like, oh, you was overly aggressive. They try to Chris Brown me, bro. But I'm like, no one's telling me shit. I just pulled up here to do the scene with y'all. Like, you feel me? We've been here all day, all night. Long story short, they didn't want your brother over there, so it is what it is. Fast forward, they like, hey, we need you to we're gonna still give you your bag for what you did. We respect you, but here's this. So I'm going through all the shit, DocuSign like hella quick. I'm just like, fuck it. Shout out to the universe. My screen froze, and as it froze, it said code of conduct, sign here. And I'm like, what's this all? I thought this is for the paperwork for the bread. What's this code of conduct shit? Because that when I got there, they put me straight to wardrobe. No, you know, I don't got no agent. So I'm not doing the shit these normal people do. Long story short, I'm like, y'all finna try to play me and sign this shit? Because what if the scenario went bad and now I'm not agreeing to this. Don't pay me. I don't want your money. And they was trying to control me by giving me money to like, so I could sign some shit. I'm like, bro, you gonna put me in a weird light where nah, I'm not into that shit. Cause say, what if that person has some ill intent to me? Because at the end of the day, I was just doing Bay Area shit. I thought you a Bay Area movie, Bay Area show. I'm not even doing nothing crazy. It's just how that's a dance style. Like if you go to Jamaica, they dance crazy like that. But this is just part of it. I didn't whip out nothing or nothing. It's just a dance move. You feel me? It's like whatever. Like
wait, so you didn't know what was on the contract? You just kind of just breezed through it.
They didn't have me sign shit until after the fact. Because I went straight to my dressing room type shit. So in my mind, I'm like, fuck these people like that. I'm not into that. I think if I ever had to do some shit when it came to like major motion picture shit, I'm gonna fund my own shit. Because we live in a world now where like, look, we could go to this on studio. Now we're a radio show.
Right.
Why do we need to use these people's money?
Right.
Like you. Why would you need to invest and use other people's money to invest when you already know everything? Where it's gonna come with some type of down, they control you. It happens like that all the time with cannabis. You know what I mean? These people throw a fat bag at you. You build their brand out. Next thing you know, you say you shake the game, and now all of a sudden they using your face on everything. When they all come from a background of like weird shit. That's why you left the building. You know what I mean? That's why I be with this. Like it's all about like when I experienced that, bro. I was like, man, this Hollywood shit is these fools really be trying to control slave masters.
Yeah, and we can get into the.
We don't gotta get all that. I'm just saying that was my story, y'all.
Yeah, no, we could get into the Hollywood stuff another time. But we know for a fact, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of whistleblowers. We know that Hollywood has its own, evil practices over there. We know that already. So, but to hear it from you and anybody from my circle of folks, I've never really heard anything like it. You know what I mean? So. That's a good firsthand experience. Thanks for sharing that.
It was a lot, y'all. I just say like, man, I ain't no one trying to play me, and I'm thankful that I'm over here being ignorant and not trying to go through the paper. I should have my lawyers look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just with that being said to everyone, always be on your P's and toes. Don't get comfortable. And especially if it's like, oh, it's Hollywood. Don't trust shit.
Yeah.
Don't trust it. Straight up.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
my bad, y'all. Like, y'all went through a lot.
No, that was good. I mean, good to hear. Glad you shared.
The episode did come out though, and I'm in it, but I'm no speaking shit.
Yeah, that's good that you saw that evil there and bounced out.
Well, it's
man, because I've heard crazy stories, man.
Well, there's another time
that
too.
Whole industry.
We had a video funded by Drugs Inc. Right? You know the show Drugs Inc. There's a show on National Geographic called Drugs Inc. where like the producer was from out here. He's like, hey, you know what? We want to use your music video. I didn't know shit about it.
Don't you got one?
Thank God I didn't sign the contract because the episode came out. They made anyone that signed the contract look like they were like a knock or like a dope fiend. Because they're like taking him, go like, hey, what's this over here? Oh, that's over there. That's old boy. He be getting that. He could be getting powder over there. That's him over there. And then they edit it and they go like, where do you meet this guy? He's a rapper / drug addict. Yeah, man, I go over there to get the powder over. They edit it. And he didn't know because they threw him a bag, and now you forever on National Geographic on Drugs Inc. looking like a knot. And you can't fight that case because you got paid and you signed paperwork.
Wait, who's this again?
I had a Drugs Inc. Where they funded one of my music videos, like they wanted to use my music video as like their set, and then in return, like they got content out of it. But I didn't know the whole play behind it, so my people, thank God, and my brothers, they was like, bro, don't sign that shit because it feels weird. And like, thank God I didn't either, because you go in one room, we didn't even know this other room was people filming in there, and it's like they got some crackhead talking. We're not even knowing all this shit's happening while we're doing our video because it's like an Airbnb in like the town, like in the hills. I'm not even knowing all this shit. I'm just doing my own shit. But yeah, thank God I never did that. So when you see that episode, you just see me as like, you know, okay, they don't say my name. It was for the video I had, Share No Blunts. And that shit was a dope video. But actually, yeah, man, it's like, be careful, man. I'm telling you, don't sign shit unless you really feel comfortable, because these people are going to show you some bread, and all of a sudden, now they're rearranging the editing shit, and now you look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Promise you. This all, that's basically probably what this fucking reality TV shit is.
Right.
You know how much shit they filming, and now they edit it, now you look like a weirdo?
Right. Yeah.
That's their goal.
Right. They want to get
your likeness.
Using your likeness, and then they're using like whatever it could be, like, oh, he looked like he could do. The storyline is all fucked up. It's crazy, bro. I seen the whole shit happen. They're like, hey, yeah, he over here talking about, yeah, the fools go over there to get the powder. They do this. Then they re-edit it like, oh, meet this guy. He a rapper. He a dope fiend. Yeah, go over here and that's where we get the powder. It's like, damn. And this is before IG was popping, so he couldn't even like say his story.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was like you couldn't do video at IG at the time. It was only pictures, so you couldn't even like put them on blast. You had to be on YouTube. Like, who's doing that at that time? You feel me? But I'm just saying, y'all, be careful out there. Just because it's like your dream, and some of you do your homework, go to people that you really fuck with. That like, just because it might be too good to be true. These motherfuckers, man, if it's weird, it's weird. Don't trust nobody, bruh.
Yeah.
Even your own people will snake you, man. So it's like, always be on your toes, trust your gut. And that's why I do everything. You see all our shit here, all my shit is to the necklace, bro, to the neck.
Yeah.
Because that's it feels better.
Yeah.
Less worries, no regrets. Yes, it's harder work, but fuck it, I'd rather work harder and then, you know, get to where I gotta go, then I could work smarter with a bigger bag.
That's right. Yeah. I also want to talk about something. I'm gonna pivot right quick and go back to 2030, because when you guys said 2030, you said 2030. So there's a 2030 agenda. You guys ever heard about that?
No.
The 2030 agenda used to be I think it used to be the 2020 agenda, and they changed it after 2020 and called it the 2030 agenda, which is basically you could do the research too. I think it's what's his name from the WEF, World Economic Forum. I forget his name right now. Klaus Schwab.
Yeah.
He he wrote a book called The Great Reset. This was in 2020, and it talks about how the Great Reset is happening. So 2020 was part of the Great Reset, and they're trying to reset everything from the finances, the economy. Everything is happening right now. And at the end of it, he goes basically with what his speech was that you'll basically own nothing. How do you guys feel about that? Like you're gonna have stuff, but you're not gonna own anything. And so that's part of the 23 agenda. And then also part of that too is that in 2030, California, it's gonna be illegal to have any gas-powered cars. You guys know about that?
In what state?
I don't believe that.
California.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, nah.
You don't think that's gonna happen?
No, there's not enough lithium.
Not enough lithium?
No. And you think the gas stations are gonna let that happen? I think that's just a fear tactic
or fake news. Yeah,
it's a fear tactic.
Yeah, fear tactic.
Plus, they want everybody to buy into the whole electric car thing too. So, but the gas, although there is free energy, it's not going to happen. They're not going to give it to us, you know. But what I could say about the 2030 agenda, I don't know too much about it. All I do know is that before 2030, you want to position yourself in a place to where you don't have to rely on much other than your own shit. You want to be self-sufficient. So, I mean, my goals, my plans is just to get a piece of land and grow my own food and tend to my animals and just, you know, take care of myself.
Where I go back to saying like, be your own. Can't be no puppet in this shit.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way, I think.
Yeah, you know what I think is here, especially here in the Bay Area, when it comes to music, a lot of artists who blew up actually learn from the Bay, like the independent game, and I'm just trying to keep it into the independent part, like trying to relay that to what you're saying is that you really gotta put it all. You got to take control of the situation and let nobody play you. And this is why I love the Bay Area for exposing that independent game is possible.
Man, it's unreal right now, bro. Look at everywhere. Everyone's doing a pop-up. I love it. Everyone's linking together. I'm like blessed to be in a lane where it's like I could go through my shit and we could go right here and I could get 20 vendors right now, all Filipino American. You know what I'm saying? And be all food, clothing, jewelry, you name it. And we could throw an event right now because they're ready, set, go. They got their 10x10s. They got everything. It's like ready, set, go. Right. Where like you said, back in the day, it was kind of like that, but not really. We really just out the truck. I got a box of merch, whatever. It's cool. Now it's like the store comes with it. Like I got hella homies that got the mobile, a fucking Sprinter van turned into a fucking pokey truck. Like, damn, let's go. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel it though, man. It's just having that be your own boss mentality. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And just not having to rely on like, everyone, I've never really been corporate, but I feel like now as I've rubbed elbows with a lot of corporate minded people in the corporate world, I'm kind of being like an infusion of like be your own boss, but with the corporate mentality. Now. Right. Work smarter, trying to, get a staff and really pay certain people to do shit so I don't have to do hella shit and, build a brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think being an independent in whatever field or whatever industry you're in, it's all about the knowledge. It's all about knowing what you're going to get into and who you're going to be, talking to. It's just all about knowing your field of work. Otherwise, you're going to go in blindly and everybody's going to eat you up. And you know what I'm saying? Like with contracts and the legal stuff, and you don't want to get binded into something that's going to get you in a trap. So.
But I'm glad that happened because now I know what not to do.
Right.
I'm always glad when bad shit happens. I'm actually grateful for bad shit happening at the end of the day, even though it hurts when it happens. You feel me? Or it's like, or your anger goes, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something negative with it. But at the same time, after it passes my system, I'm fucking hella glad it happened. Because I look at it as we're all hunters at the end of the day. Let's take it back to them days. We're all hunters. Damn, that motherfucker animal. I should have killed that animal, but damn, it almost killed me.
Yeah.
But now I know when I hunt that motherfucker again, it ain't gonna do the same shit because I'm over here. I brought my extra shield. Yeah, I got both of the axes sharpened. I always have this hunter mentality, and I think if you guys keep that with you, especially our roots come from that, you're gonna be so successful.
Yeah,
you got to know you got to hunt, kill, feed the family. There's gonna be different weathers, storms all the time. Be prepared for all that shit, and you could sleep normal and eat normal every day.
Yeah, man, I feel like we talked about a lot tonight, and we're really over what we usually have, which is we're over 2 hours really.
Damn, man, we'd have been kicked out of the Korean barbecue by now.
But it's cool. But if there's other stuff you guys want to talk about, we can definitely talk about it. Because we can talk all day. I can see that we can talk all day about our community, our people. But I do want to talk about like how we can, better like serve our own people, but not only ourselves, not only our family, but how can we as a community really break the facade of like, because like the story you said about like black folks, they don't get along in some of their community, and he's like, I wish we could be. He was like, we wish.
Yeah, they were like, I was with one of my African American partners, and they was like, man, I love how the Filipinos all together.
Yeah,
like I fuck with y'all. That's his outlook,
right?
But I had to tell him like, bruh, it ain't even like that. It's probably because he was telling me what he has to go through with his own people. I'm like, I'm gonna be real. It's probably worse for us than y'all because the gatekeeping ass motherfuckers be really doing the most they could do and whatever else would be out there that just tries to hold us back as a community.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's like I feel what we're doing as right now as a 2-hour conversation is what I've gotten out of it is like we're here to like learn more, to teach more. You know what I mean? And then also like because that's gonna help the youth, the elders, whoever that don't know, that's uneducated, but it's our duty to give that game. You know what I mean? And like I said, not just for our community, but just wherever we're at.
Yeah. No,
our shit. Let's teach our shit because like we don't want that shit to die.
Right.
like you said, it's 2030. We don't want all that information to just. Did you okay? Speak of you went to the Navy, right?
Yep.
Did you see what they did to our Filipino people in the Navy, erasing all that shit that they all the shit that was on that website? They erased all the Filipino Americans, the history of them being in the Navy type shit or something like that. Because I only know this because of my family's Filipino American in the Navy served, and they because then it's like, how are they gonna get their benefits now? You smell me? That's a whole thing. But those people doing the erasing, they just wanted to make it so they could save money.
What timeline are you talking about?
Right now.
Oh, really?
Man, I wish we had a thing where you could look this shit up because my cousin in the Navy was in the served. And but also I heard there's also Lolos out there in say the Salinas, Monterey area where they sit outside on strike. Hey, don't let them erase us. Because then if it reaches a certain point and it act like it didn't exist, then they won't get their fucking money, their pension or whatever. But it's like they're not even from here. They serve this country. That you know what I mean? So now you want them to be faithful to what? But it's a lot of shit that I'm learning to this day where I just learned this shit and now I'm passionate about it because deal with somebody I really know. But yeah, it's crazy times, man.
I'll try to look it up.
It's all good.
Maybe I'm not typing in the right thing.
So yeah, let's as long as we can help, keep this thing going and sharing the information and making sure it gets you know what I mean, just distributed right, we'll be straight.
Yeah, we do have a lot. We have a lot to talk about as a community, and I'm pretty sure there are groups and organizations that are doing these things and continuing the education. But the broader community that don't get to tap into the Filipino organizations or are hardly exposed to the Filipino community. How do we get this to this message out besides the podcast? Do we also, because we create workshops. We don't, as for DJing and other stuff and the arts, but we don't really talk about how can we strengthen our community. We really don't. That's a specific topic. How do we strengthen us and take away all the things that was designed to interfere with our God frequency? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we don't talk about these things, and this is why this podcast exists, because I want to pick your brains and see where the community's at and how we can get closer to the same page. Because it's as far as where we're at, we're on the same book. We're in the same book, in my opinion, but slightly in different pages in terms of information and stuff like that. But but how do we really create an environment or a movement to where we can actually break down what is breaking us down? Okay, it could be the government, it could be the food, it could be the air, it could be the water. What is it that's really slowing us down? So where we can't even see yo, you're my brother, man. How do we get that? Because when NUMP comes in, it's all love. Yeah, that's that love. That's the kind of frequency I gravitate to, and it's real, it's raw. But I'm not saying everybody be like NUMP. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is that we need to sit down and really find common ground so that way we can map this out for all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough task. What we just did right now was a perfect example because we gave each other our space to talk and speak our mind separately, togetherly. And this is the perfect platform. This is a perfect recipe right here. What we just did right now, having everyone to speak what they want about on the topic, then together speaking, and then we learning off each other and ping-ponging. Doing this exact same shit to what you just said out there. Right.
And it's going to be from now, it's 4 of us, next time 8, next time 16, and watch it blow the fuck up and becoming what you just explained, because it can happen.
Right.
We just did it with 4 dudes. So let's do it with 400. I mean, we just got to keep doing it. It's consistency, I feel.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
I was kind of on the same kind of mindset of that. Is when you're saying how can we do it? I think it starts off with these conversations and creating this dialogue, right? And maybe it's just the consistency of having these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's listening and it sparks an idea, and they're in a different position to kind of tie it all in, right? So I think that's where it's at. It's just kind of creating this awareness of what we're trying to do, the community aspect of it, and then just kind of continuing on with these conversations to spark something. That's what
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
I agree 100%. I think carrying and embodying this energy
Yes.
everywhere you go, because really,
Because I think it's a rare thing to meet
for sure, but
similar motherfuckers
yeah.
that feel it, and then because it could have been the other way around. Like,
Yeah.
we could be like, man, what the fuck y'all talking about? It could have been a weird.
I think,
but it wasn't.
Nah. It's that mindset, it's the consciousness. Like, we're on a different frequency, and we gotta
come from all four separate.
Yeah, but we
everything.
We gotta like keep speaking this so we can uplift our community.
Yeah.
So that they could change the frequency. Because right now people aren't doing like investing, or they're not going after their living up to their potential. They're not being entrepreneurs because they're scared because of how everybody's programmed. Right. But the reality is like, you should really think about what it's going to look like when you retire, because that's the trap. Right.
Yeah.
You know how many elderly folks you know that was like, oh, I'm going to retire off my 401k, my social security, and I'm going to travel. And then they get there and they can't because it's way too expensive. You know what I'm saying? But we
they
know
don't plan it correctly. They don't plan it.
Yeah, but we know if we don't do anything, that's gonna happen. And that's
where the investment part comes in. Do something with the money now.
Right, exactly. So it's like, if you know that's gonna happen, that's more of a risk than taking a risk and betting on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you're gonna get there, and you know, we don't know if there's gonna be another pandemic. You know, there's a lot of people that were about to retire, and then COVID hit, boom, the stock market took a hit, boom, their 401k retirement accounts took a hit, boom, and now they got to go back to work. They don't, you know, so that's why you got to invest so that you create your own nest egg. You know, there's a saying that if you can't figure out ways to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
So that's why we got to figure out how to make the money, make money, and get like passive income.
Yes.
So if you got one source of income and you get laid off, like in the tech world, you're done, right? At least for a couple of months, you know. And then if you're in a job that, you know, that's like there's a lot of people that have jobs that like it's overmanned in that workspace. So
who knows when you'll get laid off?
Yeah, and it's hard to find work because of the profession or the discipline you're in, right? So you have no control. So it's like we gotta normalize these conversations that we're having, right? I was just having a conversation like, so I hired my first assistant to kind of like, you know, you got to leverage and kind of like, I have so much stuff that I want to do. I can't do it all in one day. So I need help. Right. But I'm over here, you know, like I'm hiring people from the Philippines because I want to give back and pay my people. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Ain't nothing wrong with it, fam.
Right. Yeah. So I'm paying my own people to help me so we can do what we got to do. And
be honest, they work great.
Man,
bruh, get shit done.
But I actually on my commute, I called her. Shout out to Angel. I know she was tuning in, but I was like, not just doing stuff for me, but like, what are your goals? Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you need help with? And let me kind of educate you. And I kind of gave her a quick little game plan, like something quick. Like,
where's she in the PI?
Oh man, I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I told like little things like changing your habits, right? I'm like, hey, every paycheck you get, take 10-20% of that and put that in like a high yield account, right? And let that bubble, because what's going to happen is over time, when that nest egg grows, because you're telling me right now you don't have money to invest, but that's why it's important that you take a portion of your earnings and put that aside and let that grow, so that when you are ready, in the meantime, we're going to educate you so you can know how to invest. But when you're ready to invest, you got a nest egg, you got a pot, and now you can use that to move, boom, and then let that roll.
Love that mentality. I've had that mentality my whole life. I can't move or function if I don't got that safety of like this bread, knowing that bread is there, like that shoebox money. Like, I think we come from that, you know what I mean? That's why I was tripping off like doing crypto stuff, because like, nah, I'm safer with this shoebox money, because I know I could flip that and I got it there. And if like there's an emergency, car fucks up, family emergency, here you go, cash out. Right. We can't, like in my mind, I can't do that with crypto right now. Who's the one to say I could get that money right now and pay for all these bills?
Right.
I don't know but now I need to slowly learn about it, put some money into it, learn the process, try it out. It's not going to hurt me to put a couple of dollars in there and learn.
Right.
And I want to tell it to everyone, because I'm living proof. I'm still the guy that fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so old school with it. But hey, ain't nothing wrong to adjust.
No, but you got to evolve. And that was, man, when I kind of like, when I switched up my whole mindset, right? Like I was in the hood. I just left like 2020, right? But once I got out, because there's a situation that happened. And once I got out, I was able to be in like a different mental space where I could think different, right? And I think when
safer.
Yeah, but when you're in the hood, you're just like on high alert,
on your toes,
survival mode,
and hella distractions.
Man.
Hella distractions.
But once you get out of that environment, you kind of think different, and then you got to worry about who you keep close to, your peer group, right? You got to be around people that are a couple steps ahead of you, so you can see the path. And then kind of figure out your way.
Or you don't want to be with them motherfucking anchors that are gonna hate on everything you say, acting like they know everything, and they like, oh, why you won't do that? I'm like, I shouldn't do that. Like, what you mean?
But that was I was getting those conversations like, you changed, and I'm like,
how'd that make you feel though? At first,
I was
personal, huh?
No, I was hurt because this, like, I grew up with all these folks, and like, I just didn't want to be like, where the drink at, where the trees at.
Right.
I wanted different conversations.
Right.
And then when I switched it up and kind of started having different conversations, they were like, oh, you changed. And then it took me a while to get to a point where like, I did change and you didn't. And that's the problem. Right. It's like, I should change. We should all change. It's not even about change. It's about evolving. Right. Who I was 10 years ago is different.
Hella different.
You know,
and people still want to live that. They want to still be in that fucking time machine. And it's funny because when I go through my sobriety, a lot of motherfuckers are like, oh, you like basically like, oh, you think you hella better than us now? Like, because you know what I mean? I'm like, I'll pay for the bottle. I'm not tripping. But I'm not trying to be like y'all the next day, not remembering shit or whoop-de-whoop.
Right.
I'm good off that.
Right.
I know I know everyone is different. I'm not judging nobody. 100%. I just know me, bruh. I've been there, done that. That Tasmania devil is gone, man. He left the building. I still got that energy without shit. The fuck? I want to remember shit and have no regrets. And I know that poison is also fucking up my health, mental state. And I know what it does to me. But then motherfuckers will be like, oh man, you think you better type shit, like that kind of energy. I'm like, for what? Yeah. Because I'm at the gym?
Yeah, because I'm trying to
do the fuck?
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to elevate my shit.
But like, why are you comparing? Like, you got your own life. Like, I'm not even comparing me to you. Like,
but that's the mindset.
That's the mindset.
You know,
but it's also that puppet, like, see, they're trying to control too, because now most people know they can't have access to you or have control with you. Now they feel some type of way.
Ooh. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with it, right? Because you got to like dedicate and commit to yourself, right? You got to work on yourself to get better.
Pour into you.
Yeah. And if people don't get that, those people weren't for you. You know what I'm saying?
And
I agree.
They probably was.
They were
at that era.
Yeah.
At that time, that's right.
There was somebody that said something to me. He was like, it was one of my, who I really was, locked in with, and we kind of started going different directions. And he was like, seasons change, and I was like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, some of the most successful people though that I listen to, that I like, YouTube podcasts, they all say like, I listen to the guys like, man, if I have a friend and he passed away, why would I go to his funeral? I didn't hang out with him for how long? Yeah, we have a past. Yeah. That's his mentality. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of lit, because why would you go? You haven't seen this motherfucker with like, you grew up with him, but like, but our culture is like, you gotta go, right? You gotta show respect. And I feel that, but at the same time, it's like, then now your energy's getting shifted because you're going through all this when really you had all this going. What if that one thing going to that, where it's like, you haven't even, I feel that at the end of the day, I respect that shit. It's like, if you had nothing to do with it for the past 10 years, like, hey, let me send my love, but like, I'm not going to shit. Like, like
they wasn't checking in, they wasn't tapping
in.
So,
and they're all gonna be all in your business. Oh, how'd you do this? Or why are you doing that? It's like, protect your energy, y'all.
100%.
That's a good point. On frequencies, energy. This is real. I mean, I think this is something that predominantly our people feel. The frequency, the energies. We've always had this. I think the anxiety and the anxiousness is part of our body. These are the powers that we have. These, like, you feel, when you see somebody, you're like, oh, I don't like his vibe. You guys, you feel that, right?
100.
I think that's a part of our power that's been suppressed
as our culture,
as our people. I think there was more to it.
Yeah,
I think there was more to it than,
we're so tribal, like you said. We hunters, so we have that hunter's instinct. Like, I'm gonna tear up out of here. I'm good.
I think it's being disconnected from the natural surrounding is what keeps us away from the frequencies, the energies that we can tap into the earth.
Before we tap out of here, can I ask everyone one question?
Yeah, sure.
Do y'all meditate?
I do.
Absolutely.
How do you? Can I ask? Like, is it two person? How do you meditate? How do you? Can I close this door so I can listen?
Man, hey, there's this book that kind of switched this all up for me, right?
Yeah.
It's called Miracle Morning believe the
So Miracle Morning is a great book to check out.
Yeah. So they kind of it talks about waking up and starting your day before you start your day. So normally you wake up, like let's say 8 o'clock, boom, you're getting the kids going, boom, 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 dropping them off, and you're go, work. But the idea is to wake up before that, so you can spend quality time on yourself, right? And then there's an acronym that they have. It's called SAVERS. So S is to sit in silence. A is affirmations of how you talk to yourself. You got to be very mindful of that. V is to visualize what you want, and this is what I've been working on like all the time. You got to visualize your future self, 1, 3, 5, 10 years, what that looks like. Because when you see that, your subconscious doesn't know what's real or what's fake. It believes it's real. And when your subconscious feels that, your conscious works towards that.
Like a little kid, y'all.
Right. And then exercise. Right. So I was doing calisthenics, read, and then scribe. So journal. So I did mine in pieces, right? I did it in pieces until I found a little situation that worked out for me. But when I went to therapy, I was like, I can't sleep. My mind won't turn off, right? I was like average of 4 hours for like 10 years. I was like tense. I was like, my wife, shout out to my wife, Ashley. She was an advocate. She was the one like, you should go seek therapy. And she kept telling me like, because she was seeing me, I was struggling, like trigger, boom, boom, boom.
And she had experience with therapy as well? Is that why she thought about it?
No, I think she just seen me struggling.
And thought like that might be it. Try it out.
Try it. Nice. You got the support. You should just give it a try. Yeah. I'm a veteran. Go to the VA. Go see what they got for you. Some support, right? So, it took me a long time to go because I was that mentality. I don't need help. I'm not crazy. What am I?
You a man?
Yeah, like I don't need help, right? I'm good. But it was very. I could see it like weighing down on her. Like she was seeing me like struggling. Like I wouldn't sleep. I'd be on edge. Triggers, boom. I would flash quick. Like I'll be doing like dumb
anger
stuff.
management type
Dude,
shit.
like people will park in my driveway and I'll just flip out. You know what I'm saying? And then, bro, they could just pull out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now it's over, right?
Yeah.
But so I had to like control my mental. So I needed help with that. But anyways, so kind of going back, right? Read a little bit and then scribe. So I was kind of going back to that because my therapist was like, you should probably try journaling because your mind doesn't stop. Because I would think of something, I would think about it, and when I'm done thinking about that, I'll think about the next thing.
And you're not saving it, you're not writing it down.
So she was like, write it down because you'll get it out of your mind, and then if you need to refer back to it, it's already there. Yeah. So when I started doing that, I started to get a little bit better sleep. So then I was kind of just trying to figure out different ways. But when I got to that book, so that I would wake up early. And then I would just sit there, like the house is quiet, like an hour before everybody woke up. And then I would do like little calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, like all that.
Get your body going.
Man.
Stretch.
All of that. And then I have a massage chair. So I sit in a massage chair and then I would plug in and do like a visualization meditation, right? So I'd sit there. And then after that, I would do exercising and I would like do my calisthenics and I would listen to like audiobooks and podcasts. And then after that, I would finish it up I would journal. So I'd write like gratitude, 3 things that I'm grateful for. Then I would kind of write like my most important tasks that I want to get done for the day. And then I'll write like affirmations. That was my structure. Nice. And that right there has been like
daily routine now.
I got it right now.
I love it.
Like I got to so like and what I do is like I got it on online on an account now. So when throughout my day, I just refer back to it and I'm like,
so you know what you're doing right now? You know what you're doing right now, brother? I love it. It's called stacking your wins.
Man.
Daily.
Every day. See? Like gratitude.
Man, stacking your daily.
All my little things that I need to.
I love it.
But that's, so it took me a while. Like when I first started out, I just started journaling. And then like after a while.
It evolves,
Then I added the visualization. That's been important.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us don't even know what tomorrow looks like.
Right.
Don't even know what next month looks like.
Right.
So how can you know what kind of life you want to create for yourself if you don't even know what you want it to look like next year?
Right.
Right. Where do you want to travel? Where do you want to live? How do you want to feel? Who do you want around you? How do you want your financials to look? You know, how do you want your spirituality to feel? You know, how you want to get connected like that. Right. So anyway, so I for like 3 years, I would wake up at 5:30. And I would spend an hour doing all of this. And then what would happen was I would approach my day, my anxiety level would be down. I would already have like started off my day with gratitude. I would have all my goals, all my intentions. I'm already worked out. I already read something, so I'm learning something. So I got my whole thing good, and then the day starts, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I already know what I'm doing for the day. I'm
I
just
love
gonna,
all that.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man.
And it's a safe feeling because you
Yeah.
got shit done. You're
Yeah.
stacking wins. Awesome, bro. I couldn't have said it any more better. How about
Yeah.
you, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this and copy and paste that because I like that structure.
I love it. Yeah.
My meditation practice is a lot different, but kind of the same, but it's like more focused on gratitude. But I basically
Nice.
start off with a session of, well, I wake up in the morning, I do the brush teeth, all that, but then I do qigong for 30 minutes.
What's that, real quick?
It's just a Tao practice. It's kind of like a Chinese yoga,
Okay, got
but
it.
it's
yes.
like activating your body.
So stretching while also putting pressure.
Just really activating everything, your body, your
But
whole
just
body.
using your body or using like a small
Just
ball?
using my body.
Because I use like a baseball.
Okay, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Just to get all the pressure.
Rub it
and
out.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah.
after that, I do hape, or it's called rape, but it's like a shamanic snuff. It's just tobacco,
Okay.
and you just blow it up your nose, and it gets you in a different. It
Like a
grounds
smelling
you.
salt type thing, but like more
No,
natural.
Where's that from?
it's from South America.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
I
it gets me in a different
you
state.
do that daily?
Not, I used to do it daily, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of just.
Tapering
I
off
tell you,
until,
I'm doing
You
everything.
you know a lot. That's
But
cool.
then, I've just recently learned a new practice. I went to Thailand for a month and learned some Tao fundamentals. So it's basically tapping in and being more aware of like my 5 major organs and what energy they hold, because they all hold different energy.
Like
and,
like your
and-
brain.
and emotions. They hold all different
Yeah.
emotions. So it's really being aware and giving thanks, smiling, and just really tapping in and like giving thanks to those things that keep you alive. Like we don't ever do that. And the Taoist practice, the Chinese, they've been doing this for thousands of
Are
years.
those a certain
Yeah.
like just a religion, or is this like
No,
something
it's
more
just-
serious?
It's just
Taoism, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Taoism is just it's like it's not a religion. It's really a
Practice.
practice.
Yeah.
There's Tao philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a way of
How do you spell that?
Tao.
Tao.
Okay, I've seen that. Okay, I just
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
yeah, got it.
Tao.
Yeah.
So I'll do that, and it'll usually be like 30 minutes. But I do like your structure, because my structure and what I'm basically doing is giving thanks, but I'm also praying.
Yeah,
I'm
prayer.
super
meditation is prayer at
and
the end
not
of the
just
day.
that.
Mhm.
I'm like the people that I hold dear, or people that are going through things.
Mm.
I'm sending them love,
Mm.
and I feel that like I've done this, and the energy changed between a certain individual, and they've lined up. So
I love
it goes a long way. Like it's very powerful, man. Prayer,
Yeah, absolutely.
whatever you want to coin it to, like religion or whatever. But
I feel like
that
prayer is meditation at the same time.
Yeah.
Manifesting. It's all
Yes.
prayer.
Yes.
So it's basically that for me.
Well, it's the word.
Awesome.
It's the word. It's
Yeah.
it's this what you speak, and that's in the Bible too. Like that's the first thing in the Bible in the Genesis is that God spoke the word, right? And He said, "Let there be light." And when He spoke, "Let there be light," there was light.
Oh man,
Manifested
That's-
it.
I'm
it's
glad
manifested that.
I'm glad you brought the Bible in, because that's something that I do with my kids. Like when
Nice.
I'm on the road taking them to school, we say prayers, and then I listen to the daily mass, because I want to instill that in them, like be grateful, be a good person,
And that's discipline. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's I think it's I think the Jews, it might be the Jews, I could be wrong, but they believe that the word is powerful. They really believe
is
that it's
Well,
It's
that's the
free.
number
word.
one agreement in the 4
Yeah,
agreements,
and
right?
that's
Be
a part of
impeccable with your
their
word,
it's
bro.
part of their practice, and I mean it's part of everybody's practice too. But they emphasize the fact that the word is the power.
Oh, 100%. It's even how you talk to yourself, but like the word
Right.
of God, right? So like there's so many different layers to this, but like even Confucius, one of my favorite quotes: "The man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both right."
Right.
So how you talk to yourself, if you're telling yourself,
Bro, say that again,
yeah, man.
dog.
So the man who says he can and the man who says he can are both.
You didn't
Wow.
watch the podcast. He said it in the last podcast.
Yeah,
I
but
love it.
that's real, because
Yeah.
if you tell yourself you can't do something, you're not even going to try.
But it's depending on the mindset.
It's the
Right.
You
mindset,
don't even
right?
know. They're both correct.
Yeah, they're
Right.
both right. If you say I can do it, you're gonna figure out a way to do it. If you tell yourself you can't do it, you're not even gonna try, because you just told
But you
yourself
just tricked
can't.
yourself into doing it, and so you are right.
The word,
The
that's,
word.
That's how you know how you speak to yourself.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, it's the word.
Power.
And I've been meditating for like since I was 7 years old, because I took martial arts, and that's how I learned how to meditate. And then ever since then, meditation and all that has evolved for me.
Yeah.
Like Frank
Like-
Dukes.
Like I don't like no that you literally
Yeah.
you know in your
7 years old. That's
your
what
prayer
you're doing.
position, you're on your knees, you're you're meditating there. But now like, meditation has evolved, and a lot of people meditate different ways. I meditate. I could just sit right here and just meditate like this. You know,
I got to that level now too. I
You
couldn't.
know,
I used to
just
not can't do that. But
right
now,
before you go to sleep, meditate, boom, and then you just fall asleep into those words that you were just pouring into yourself.
It took me months to figure out how to like silence my mind because I couldn't
Mm.
control my thoughts. It was just like
too easily distracted, right?
man, yeah. But I came across this one, like I like guided meditations, 'cause
Like a
I could-
YouTube.
yeah, because I could
Yep.
follow. And then there was this one that I came across, and they were like, your thoughts that come into your frame, into your mind,
I love that.
look at it like a boat, and it's just passing and let it go. Come
Mm-hmm.
back to it later. And then once I got that, I was like, I just started letting everything go. And I was like, okay, this is the exercise of regaining your focus. Let your mind drift, but when you know it's drifting, bring it back. Boom. And then once you start exercising that muscle, that's how you get locked in with your focus, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but that's why it's important to meditate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People, you know, like it's
Yeah,
like
it's like a it's a fresh start. It's a full because you can start your day and you just keep going. It's like
Yeah.
how you it's like, bro, it's like you're not aligned. Your tires aren't aligned.
Yeah.
You know, your engine light is on.
but it's like your mind, your brain is a muscle, right?
Exactly. You
And
can
it's
stretch
like-
that thing out.
It's like you gotta stop and give it a break. It's like if you're bench pressing forever, you just never
Mhm.
stop,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
You gotta stop.
Yeah.
That's what the meditation is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give your mind a rest to
Yeah.
reset, rethink, and then go.
Yep.
You know,
And it's important to not just not just stop things and the important part is to really empty out your mind. If you can empty out your mind and find that blank space, and that's exactly where you want to be, because there's nothing that can disrupt you there. No thoughts, no good, no bad, no evil, nothing can disrupt you there. All it is just silence, and you're there. Nothing.
It's
So
priceless, man.
But it's hard for people to get there because of the the traumas, the things they go through in life. All this is flowing through them, all that energy, the trauma and everything is flowing, and they can't find that space and they struggle. And so yeah, sometimes you need that support. You need to go seek out some help and to find that space, because you do need help in whatever we do in life.
Nothing's perfect, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing's perfect. I love all the meditation talk. I do everything y'all do. I can't add really too much on it because I practice all the shit y'all talking about. It come in different like it just happened naturally. I didn't really read a book or nothing, bro. I just organically. I'll be at a coffee shop every morning doing my shit, not even knowing that's something that's like it's healthy. It's just I'm gravitated to it. Then it came to like meditation, and like the best part I could just say with meditation, when I manifest, I close my eyes and I'm talking, like giving my thankful, I'm grateful, imagining all this great stuff and thankful for my children and all that stuff. And like the scenarios we're in, when the moment after you're done, after you manifest all your good stuff, the powerfulness of when you open your eyes and everything is like HD, 4K, all colorful, when maybe the sun wasn't even out. Now, because I always do it outdoors, but then it's like, oh shit. And I swear to God, I feel like Lapu Lapu. Like I start like walking, like I'm ready to fuck someone up. Like someone gonna hop out these bushes. I'm like alert. I'm on my shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm channeling my inner ancestor,
No,
whatever.
as you
but
should.
I'm in it until where like I'm so confident.
Yeah.
And then what happens? I start doing work calls. I'm like you said, like I just did my push-ups. It's like breathing exercise or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'm like now feeling so confident about my day where like hella shit gets done. And like I magically wakes up every day at like 3:34 in the morning every day. I don't know how I do it, but it's also with my sobriety. I think it's like my natural body. Like I get that super good sleeping. I wake up something and I do what you do. I just sit there. I like try not to touch the device, but I'm like, let me manifest. Let me take me there to a happy place. And then all of a sudden I sleep again, and dude, the dreams get real. Then and then you wake up at your normal time, 6:37, when it's like, okay, time to get. But then I'm just like, woo. What the fuck did I just watch? Like, damn, that was real. And then maybe I'm Googling shit. Like, what does that mean? Why is that owl howling right now? Like, why would I woke up? Like,
Yeah.
anyways, long story short, I respect. I'm glad to meet 4 bodies, Gorilla Pinos, never met before in my life, really though. And you know what I mean? And like having this, because I'm at that part of my lifestyle where I'm like, this is what I do daily, bro. Like that's why I can fuck with y'all.
Yeah,
I fucking do this shit daily. If people don't know, I do all this shit. They don't know it comes with all this shit we just talked about. I've never documented my morning routine like that. Like, because I feel like I want to, but it's like, Like, and then what? You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not here doing it for clout. I'm not here. I would love to teach it, but at the same time, it's like this was a dope ambiance to talk that shit with, vibe with y'all.
Yeah.
For sure.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah. Any
Dig deep.
final thoughts, guys? Because I know we're already at the 9.
I'll touch on your last question on how to create that change.
Yeah.
I think to create that change.
Wait. So rewind that. What change?
The change, just like within our community. Like how we're gonna. I think it's really touching base with the younger generations and having these type of conversations with them. Because it's all about that, really.
Yeah, the youth, right?
That's where it all
trickles.
Yeah. So it all trickles in from there and how we guide our youngins.
Yeah. I do have some plans. Actually, I'm not gonna talk about it right now. No, I'm not gonna talk about that. No, this will
Off air.
Off air, yeah. Anyway, but final thoughts, guys.
So I think this is dope that we're having this conversation and normalizing these conversations.
Yes, please.
I think that's very important for our community, right? I don't think we have enough representation that, people at like your level, at everybody's level, to kind of speak that wisdom into the generation that's coming behind us.
And our current one as well. Because
Yeah.
I couldn't tell y'all 20 years ago I'm like gonna be having this talk with y'all like this.
Yeah.
It would have
Dude,
been
I
weird.
can tell you this 5 years ago.
Bruh.
Man,
You feel me?
but
literally.
literally, I couldn't tell
Yeah.
you this 5 years ago. I couldn't even believe I'd be where I'm at right now 5 years ago. It
Amen,
just wasn't
brother.
even a thought in my mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impossible, right? But what I would say to the anybody that's listening is, you gotta bet on yourself. You gotta take chances while you're young, especially while you're young. And even if you're older, you still gotta bet on yourself. You gotta take risks. You gotta think in the future. You gotta think, because right now, like if you think about it, right now already passed. You know what I'm saying? Time ain't waiting for nobody. The sand is coming down the hourglass and you can't push it back up. What are you gonna do with that time? Are you gonna look at what's on the bottom, like damn, and start like spending your time and energy on that? No, you got sand that's running.
It don't make no sense. How can you?
Yeah. So like, and think about living up to your potential, think bigger, be around people, read books, listen to audio. You always have to learn something.
Learn daily.
Every day.
Learn daily.
There's something new to learn.
And like you did, stack your small wins. All y'all talking about is stacking small wins, which like, at the end of the day, you're gonna be successful if you do that.
Man, there's this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? They talk about they talk about a story of it was the Tour de France. There's a French team that always lost every year, but then they hired this performance coach or some type of coach to bring the group up. And what they did was they didn't focus on winning the race. They focused on the small things that made a difference, right? That started adding up. Like one thing they did was they started putting alcohol on the tires, and that would improve their score or their time by like point something seconds. Then they started looking at how they can get better sleep so they could perform better. They started looking at the type of clothes they're wearing to get more lightweight. They were looking at the different type of shoes, and all those started adding up. So if you could do 1% better every day, that's like 30 times 7 better 37 times better than what you were when you started at the beginning of the year.
I love it.
And if you can make just 1% better every day, like you read one page of a book of something that you're learning, or you do like one extra push-up, or you know what I'm saying? Like you meditate, or you're doing something that's better, that's moving the needle, that you're making progress. As long as you stay consistent and stay disciplined, you're gonna see like massive results, right? So you gotta change your environment, change your mindset, be open, evolve, be around people that are successful. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go for it. Now is the time. Now is the time to make changes, to go for it. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I just want to add to that. This is what I tell the kids when I do like the assemblies and stuff. Just tell them new day, new plays, new wins.
Hey,
nice.
That's it. You know what I mean?
This is what it's about. It's about winning these little wins and winning constantly, so you can get this massive result that you're talking about towards the end of this. And it'll continue. But this is the purpose of SOMAHH TV, is to really expose everything that we're going through in life, because a lot of these things that we're going through is not being highlighted A lot of it is, you know, we as a community, we like entertainment, we like comedy, we love food, we love arts, we love our culture, we love all and being prideful of our people. We love talking about how we love being Filipino, we love all these things, but we have a lot of problems that we got to sift through on a daily, and we're doing it individually, and we're figuring out how to do better and how we can make our community and our world better. And this is what I'm doing. And we're trying to find out, we're getting there. We're going to get there, but it takes one podcast at a time, one conversation at a time, until we can come together and really find that glue that really would bind us back together again, pre-colonial, whatever you want to call it. Now, how about now? You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all for diving in today and bringing in that energy, because that's what I really wanted to do, is bring y'all together, because y'all energy is infectious to me, at least, and that it needs to be shared more so. And we need to uplift our community.
Let's
somehow,
run this
some way.
one back, all four of us, man.
I think
I
you
fuck
guys
with y'all, man. I like this, man.
Yes,
Fantastic
sir.
Four.
Hey.
and this is what we need to do. You guys are the leaders in your own
I
field.
love it.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna bring it together. We're gonna do it again. I appreciate y'all, man. So one love to y'all, man.
Right on.
Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Hindi ko malilimutan itong panahon na to na ginawa natin to para sa mga tao natin, sa komunidad natin. That was kind of messed up, but I tried my best, my Filipino people.
Sige,
You know what I'm saying?
sige.
Sige na.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Man, NUMP, J, JP, Joe Ill, DJ Bite Size in the
Bite
building.
size, what is it?
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for checking us out. Soma
Yes,
TV,
sir.
episode 2, spring 2025.
Flap your wings, man. Get it down, man. Say Giota, kick the sneak, yeah, man. NUMP, you feel me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
100
man.
Rickety's coming soon, man. What is it?
Yeah, tap in j.invest Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to plug in mariaclara.adamos
Let's go.
on Instagram, and Artistry in Life. They're doing a wellness workshop, super powerful, and they're touching on all the things that we're talking about here, and digital wellness, body work, all that. And just emotional intelligence. So it's like very powerful and good information if
Is
you
this-
want to kind of level up.
Is this all on IG or is?
Well, you could find their link tree on their IG, and then
Okay.
you could tap in there.
Word. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Any more links? Anything we want to share? Any resources we want
Man,
to share
that
to
was
the
good,
community?
man. I think that
All
was,
right.
that was it.
All right, Soma TV. I'm Joe Ill, and you find us on School of Martial Arts and Hip Hop. We also have Maricel Academy, maricelacademy.com. We provide DJ services. We also have martial arts classes for anybody out there. But yeah, tap in, man. Thank y'all, man. Let's
Thank
go.
Hey, let's get it.
Woo!
You know what I mean?